Mo, that was much better, wasn't it? I mean, how many games away from home? This one last season, remember it?
Shocking, yeah, horrible.
Absolutely horrible. Shocking.
Yeah.
And to come here and get a win today, and you know, after a bit of a dodgy first half, very comfortable I thought in that second half.
I mean, that's the thing, you're saying better today, but it depends if you want to talk about first or second half. The first half, let's face it, was so uninspiring. It was really just, we had nothing about us, and you know, it was just two teams with showing zero quality out there.
Yeah.
Second half, everything changed. And I was thinking,
changed on the free kick, didn't it?
It did, and that's the thing. I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people are saying that, oh, it changed because of Torreira or Lascelles going off or whatever. For me, goals are the biggest momentum swinger in football. You can bring a sub on or whatever, but there's nothing like goals that change a game. And the one I always remember, the game that really sums that up, was England-Germany in the World Cup, when we were 2-0 down, Germany were battering us, and then we got into 2-1, and wind was in our sails, Lampard's goal got disallowed, and then again Germany ran away with it. And there's certain moments in games that really swing things, and goals define those moments, and they swing things like nothing else. And that free kick, Xhaka standing over it, if that didn't go in, then I would have been quite curious to see what effect Torreira had on the game. But because that went in, it just absolutely changed the game. I don't even think we can read into the substitution too much. So
although I would say he had so much more control. He had so much more structure when he came in. You do have to start asking yourself, when is he going to start games?
Yeah, look, I think we're all calling out for that, but you know, it is difficult, because as much as you praise Torreira for, if we were to just focus on Torreira and say he changed the game when he came on, inadvertently we're also saying something about the player that came off, Guendouzi. And Guendouzi hasn't put a foot wrong for me, and I almost feel sorry for him, because he's a 19-year-old, and it's not common in football to be hauled off at half time, and it's happened to him a couple of times now. And I'm starting to feel like it's a bit of mismanagement, because it's not fair on the kid to haul him off as if he's the problem.
Hold on, I disagree with you. Listen, the manager's sending him out, he's saying to do a job. You don't do that job, off you come. I like this.
What did Guendouzi not do today?
He wasn't. For me, he wasn't dynamic enough. He kept getting.
Was Ozil dynamic enough?
No, hold on.
Was Xhaka dynamic enough? In that first half, you name the standout player.
I'm not going to say he played particularly badly. What I'm going to say is that combination weren't working. Him and Xhaka, and Guendouzi wasn't. He wasn't. I rate him as a player, but he wasn't getting forward much. He was turning back, passing it back all the time. There was just no dynamism there. Soon as Torreira sort of came in, we were getting the ball and we were looking to go forward. And that's why I think he got hauled. And I don't think he should... I don't think it's going to damage him, because he's starting a lot of games. That's a compliment to him.
I do agree that Torreira is a hell of a lot more dynamic than any other midfielder we've got at our club. Not just Guendouzi, but he's the most dynamic midfielder we've got. But the problem is, I just feel for Guendouzi, because you're saying that it wasn't working between him and Xhaka, right? Then why is it always Guendouzi that gets hauled off?
And he's the young, Xhaka's a more senior player. And also, I'd say that at Cardiff, I understood it completely, because it's quite a physical game, and Xhaka's a lot more physical, and probably here as well today. Xhaka's physicality is going to keep him in there. That's what I think.
But for me, Guendouzi is a lot better at holding on to the ball than Xhaka is. They've both got their merits. Xhaka is less intelligent than Guendouzi. If I want someone to manage a game, I'd rather it was Guendouzi than Xhaka personally. And I'm just starting to feel a little bit sorry for him, because it's not a nice thing in football. If anyone's ever played, getting subbed off at half time, you don't want to be that guy.
I don't care as long as we win the game.
I hear what you're saying, but what I would say is that just start Torreira then. If you're gonna, it's much better to say, look, if it's not working, bring someone on, bring Guendouzi on. And also, like, when you're a kid, he probably is a bit more sensitive to this sort of stuff. And I said for the first 3 games of the season, he's overperforming, and now it's almost kind of like people are saying that he's not performing well enough. Well, actually, do you know what? He's performing to the level that I would have expected. The first 3 games, he was performing way beyond expectation. So anyway, look, that's just one thing that I'm keeping an eye out on. I want to see Emery take him out the firing line, because it's not a nice thing to have to be facing every single week, to be hauled off at half time. But for me, the standout player today, I thought, was Socrates. He was brilliant for me. When you look at Newcastle in the first half, they had a bit of joy down the left, and it seemed clear that they're saying, all right, look, who do we want to go after? Monreal and Socrates, or do we want to go after Mustafi and Bellerin? And it was very clear. They chose attacking down the left-hand side, and that means attacking our right with Mustafi and Bellerin. And every time I see Mustafi on the ball as a centre-back, I'm not like nervous, but I'm just kind of looking with a bit more appealed eye. And when Socrates was on the ball, I'm confident. And it just dawned on me today that actually, do you know what? Whenever he's on the ball, I'm not actually concerned.
I think he's going to quickly become a crowd favourite.
I
mean,
so, yeah.
I saw that tackle he did when in the middle of the park, the cruncher.
Yeah, it was.
I just saw some of the old school guys around me go, yeah.
And the thing is,
they love that. You know what I mean?
It was very good as well, and he showed a lot of pace to get there. And I think there's one thing that fans, without even seeing him play, have started saying that he's not quick enough. But you've barely seen him play. Just because he's a bit stocky doesn't mean he's not quick. And actually, he is quick, and he does look like a decent defender to me. But for Mustafi, on the other hand, we were talking in recent weeks about players not making massive individual errors, but just not a lot of defensive cohesion. Mustafi today, he showed those individual errors, and the one where the ball was in the air. What?
The only thing with that, I kept thinking to myself, well, did he lose the ball in the lights? Because they did sort of. I tried to help him out here because I've never seen nothing like that. It was. I don't know what's going on.
No, I'm not.
Because they turned, it was getting a bit overcast. They turned the floodlights on.
I don't think even Ty would have said that, to be honest with you. Listen, it was just a stupid error, and he's still got that in his game. And it's like, when I look at Socrates, I just see a very comfortable defender, and Mustafi needs to iron those things out of the game. Even Bellerin, at a couple of points today, he got himself tangled into a bit of a mess, and it's just what Monreal doesn't do. And I just kind of feel like we are going to be targeted down down our right-hand side a little bit. Surprisingly, their goal and their chance just before that actually came from the left, and that frustrated me because I really wanted to keep a clean sheet today. We haven't kept a clean sheet all season. We need to start keeping a clean sheet because I'm not saying that we're going to have a title challenge, I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but to get to that level where you can start talking about that, you have to have it sorted from the back, and that's something that Emery really needs to sort out.
It's Robbie here for the Real Football Fan Show on Channel 4. Don't forget to check us out every Friday night at 12 midnight. Make sure you check it out.